We have more clips of Fox News liberal Jessica Tarlov, this time in a rather heated disagreement with her MAGA co-host, where she still manages to show them up for their lies and propaganda. So let's look at just a few of these clips and, as always, provide context where is needed.
And she can't talk for 2 minutes. She cannot fill 2 minutes.
Guys, we're lowering expectations. She's a great debater.
Yes,
she is a prosecutor. She knows how to work a jury, which is the audience.
Yeah, but
Come on, this is going to be tough.
Convicted felon.
Oh, God.
Oh, she should hope.
She should hope. It's the reality.
No, it isn't.
He's not a convicted felon?
You think that's a real case?
Okay.
Right-wing grifters have it so easy and always will because they're not burdened by the truth or morality at all. Anything they don't like, they can just shamelessly say is fake with no evidence. And if Trump loses anything, they can just say it's rigged, again, with no evidence. Just like every debate he's ever lost, just like the election he lost, just like all his trials, when the reality is he is a 34-count convicted felon who was found liable for sexual assault and fraud as well. And MAGA saying, well, they're just pretend cases brought by a biased DOJ without any evidence doesn't change that fact. Trump lied on campaign finance records to help his electoral chances, which is falsifying business records in the first degree. He sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll, where the judge said he was, by all definitions of the word, that he raped her, and he inflated his net worth to get better deals from banks that other people could not be able to get, all of which is against the law or our civil standard and makes him really all of these things. And the rest of us don't have to just live in fantasy land where none of this is real just because MAGA chooses to.
This guy got shot.
About him
Don't
saying
tell me he's selfish.
Are absolute fools.
Let me tell you something. Donald Trump is the only one who moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. He's the only one who got the Abraham Accord.
Why aren't Jews voting for him?
I'm not going to fight with you anymore, Jessica.
Jessica, of whom is a Jewish woman, I think has a bit more insight here than Judge Janine, but to also address, Donald Trump got shot by a Republican, if anything, likely because of the way he single-handedly has turned up the incendiary rhetoric in politics, though largely the shooting probably had little to do with politics as a whole. We know the shooter also was looking up the DNC time for Biden rallies, and the Trump one just happened to be closer and first. However, Trump does see all Jews as a monolith or a hive mind. He's long spread Jewish conspiracy theories that are harmful to them, like the globalist theory about Jewish cabals and all of this nonsense. We know that plenty of MAGA like Marjorie talking about Jewish space lasers and all just ridiculous anti-Jewish conspiracy theories. So the idea that because he's a Zionist, mostly because of the millions of dollars they'll give him, disqualifies him from being anti-Semitic is also really dumb, considering that anti-Semitism has historically always existed in Zionism. They aren't antithetical to each other, where you can even see where one serves a purpose for the other as, oh, well, we don't want Jews here in this place doing the things they do, so here, this gives them a place to go. They can all go to Israel. But if you follow the rhetoric over time, it's pretty clear his opinion and clear why Jewish people don't want to support him.
Or J.D. Vance in this Haitian immigrant story, that he's promoting this complete false lie, that Haitian legal migrants
hate them
are
personally.
eating. What?
And the Democrats hate Republicans. As soon as he got elected, Republicans were unfriended by all the Democrats. They wouldn't speak to us anymore. The Democrats are the party of hate. The Democrats are the party that said, he's a Putin asset, he's a Russian puppet. The Democrats are the ones who signed affidavits and lied to a court so that they could spy on a president of the United States. The Democrats are the ones who said that we're destroying democracy. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is one of the most generous people you'll ever meet. He does all kinds of things that people have no idea about. And by the way, if he were selfish, he'd take his money and tell all of us to go F ourselves based upon the way this country has treated him.
He's running right now to keep himself out of jail. He ran the first time to ensure that he could cut taxes for himself and his billionaire buddies. Those seem like pretty selfish reasons if you ask me, and calling Democrats the party of hate is hilarious. They just want to push that accountability onto anyone else because they can't take it for themselves. Democrats are the party of hate for calling out racism and sexism where it very much exists, but Republicans aren't for the actual kind of grouping up that they do and villainization of the other side and other people. I mean, they're voting for a guy who questioned Obama's citizenship, who called Hillary crooked and chanted lock her up, who rose to fame for giving derogatory nicknames to his debate opponents, who said that the Second Amendment people can handle Hillary, who said that Biden had dementia, Biden's a criminal. He labeled all Democrats Marxists and criminals and say that, oh, they're trying to take over our country and must be stopped. He says that immigrants are all thugs. They're worse than Hannibal Lecter. They're pouring out of mental institutions. They're poisoning our country, that they're also all criminals. He's called veterans losers and suckers. But all that is just Trump being Trump. It's not hate. It doesn't have anything to do with dividing the country. But Democrats are dividing the country for saying, hey, Trump is racist for how he talks about immigrants, which I love that all Republicans try to extrapolate to all of themselves, even though they can't give any clips or any elected high-ranking Democrats saying like, yeah, all Republicans are this or that. It's silliness that nobody really buys into. And it's akin to somebody like walking up and just beating the hell out of someone. And right before they're stopped and pulled off, the other guy just hits them back one time. And they're like, whoa, man, why are you being so aggressive right now?
Go on his site and you look at his, he denies everything, Judge. We talked about this. He says, seal the border and stop migrant invasion. No detail, no drop down. How are you going to do that? This might be my favorite. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. Well, that sounds nice. What does that mean? We know he doesn't have a plan for lowering inflation except to ask all the heads of the agencies to come together and do it. He thinks tariffs pay for childcare. He thinks tariffs pay for everything.
This is a great point, and nobody who supports Trump can explain any policy positions that Trump has expanded on because he never does that. It's just these vague mentions of what he'll do without the actual solutions, and the country will become great under me for sure. He has no real solutions. There's not even a migrant invasion, but notice how he also never expands on how he's going to do mass deportation, because what that would look like would be like weaponizing ICE to scary Gestapo levels of them walking the street and just like card checking random brown people. His answer for everything is tariffs, which only raise prices, and he refuses to talk about any real issues. He'll just instead resort back to, oh, well, deportation and drill, baby, drill, which we drill more now than we did under Trump. So that's also kind of silly, but it also doesn't solve these tabletop issues like childcare, where his answer for it was laughably bad. Like he rambled on for 2 minutes without giving any bit of a policy position on it, or housing, where he just talks about mass deportation again, or wages, where he talks about corporate tax cuts, things that don't even go hand in hand with each other. He's the most unserious politician of all time. And after 8 years of this same tired old playbook, more and more people are starting to catch on to this fact, to where even now large segments of moderates and Republicans do not and refuse to support him.